Hey guys, it's Chris here. Good morning. So I got a message this morning before, as I was getting up to leave for work, that this had come in. This is the Edgun that I mentioned a couple times in previous videos. I don't know if you guys ever saw it or not, but that I was going to get an Edgun and turn it into a super Edgun. So this is an Edgun 9mm 35 caliber. I also got 25 caliber magazines, a 25 caliber barrel, and I'm going to turn it into a super 25 caliber Edgun, because so the 35, I don't remember if I made any videos with the 25 caliber, but I ordered a 25 caliber Edgun, and then I found out that I can't buy the plenum that this gun has. You have to buy the 35 caliber gun to get the 137 cc plenum, which is obviously what I wanted. And also I found out I could get a 470 cc bottle instead of a 350. So now I've got the 470 cc bottle, the 137 cc plenum, and I ordered several size jets. These are what close the valve. Instead of there's no hammer. It's a hammerless gun. So this isn't a hammerless gun like the Rattler that you have to find everything out on your own. They actually tell you how to work on this gun. So these are the jets, and these are 0.2, 0.1, and 0.3. I did 3, 2, and 1, and it comes with 4. So I have 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. These control how fast the valve closes. So the bigger the opening, obviously, the more air comes in and the faster the valve will close. So the less air that comes in, the slower the valve will close. And also, I knew it came with a digital gauge on the back here for your bottle pressure, which is at 267 bar. I haven't shot it yet. I literally just got here with it, which I usually don't do videos like that because I usually modify things so quickly, but I wanted to show you guys this the whole way through. And then this one is 191 bar. That's where the regulator is set at, and it's a Huma Raptor regulator they had pre-installed because we talked about it, and that's what I wanted to do. So this is a high pressure regulator. This can go up to 210 bar. So now it comes with this huge muzzle brake as an option. That's a quick disconnect also. And then this is the Behemoth silencer, which is massive. And this is the only silencer that I didn't feel like I needed to modify because they did such a good job of it. And honestly, the last one, the 25, came, I think, 2 sections shorter. At least one, but I think it was 2 sections. So I don't need to use this whole thing. I don't know, once I'm done, we'll see if I think I do need to use the whole thing, but I don't think I'm going to end up using the whole thing. I think I'm probably going to use 2 sections less. We'll try it like that, and if I need to put one back, I will. So take the end cap out. That's 2 sections. Yeah, because of the 9mm, it comes with 5 sections. So it was a little more expensive, but then I also ordered another Edgun digital gauge because I didn't think it came with one for the side for the regulated pressure, because the last one did not, the 25 caliber, but apparently the 9mm does. And then I ordered another one and thought that I was going to use that here, but now I don't need to. It came with 2. So I'm going to put this on this impact for the regulated pressure. So no worries, it'll be made use of. And then this is their speed loader system, which I think is pretty ingenious the way they developed this. Let me show you. So these are all on red, so that means they're open. So, but you load up 8 slugs, 8 pellets, whatever, and then you lock one, right? Another 8, lock one. Another 8, lock one. Another 8, lock one. You have 6 magazines worth of ammo in here. And then both sides, or this side rather, is magnetic. You can pop the plate off and put this on and load it, and open one section, load it, and then put the cap back on, and that's it, you're done. And by cap, you'll see what I mean, because these magazines have a cap on them that's magnetic, that's metal rather. So see, it just stuck right to it. And then you can put it back on here, get it in its spot so it locks in, and boom. So there's this little metal plate on the back of the magazine, and that holds the pellets in. I mean, I got them optimized for slugs, so I'm not sure what the difference is between that and the pellet one. The other ones I got, I'm not sure if they were optimized for slugs or not. I'm really not sure. So here's the gun, and the handle is actually very nice. It's a wooden grip, and then the centerpiece pulls out, and you have a bunch of little Allen keys in there, and an extra puck, and it's pretty cool. But I'm not going to use this grip. I'm going to use an ergo grip, just because I'm going to do all black. I'm going to make this a nice looking gun, and this is a beautiful handle, and not that it's a bad looking handle, it's just not my style. So I'm gonna pop that off and pop on the ergo grip. I think I need a 4mm. Yep, okay, 4mm. Okay, and there's a little disc in there that holds, that this gets screwed into, so we don't want to lose that. I'll slide that screw out. That has a spring on this one that's for the tools to get loaded back into, but I'll just leave the spring up in there with the tools so I don't lose any of that stuff, because who knows, maybe I'll find another use for this. Alright, and then I have my ergo grip around here somewhere. I thought it was in this box, but it could be. There it is. Got it. Okay. So use the same screw and put this on here. Actually, I'm going to put the screw right through it and start that. And then I also got a side shot phone holder, so that when I'm shooting, well, not necessarily through this gun right now, but I got it with a 36mm for the zero compromise that's on my impact, which didn't turn out so good. I guess, I don't know if it's me. I don't think there is any other gun that comes with a 36mm tube other than the zero compromise. Even the Tangent Theta, I've looked at all the top end guns, and not one of them has bigger than a 35mm tube. I mean, all the top end scopes. When I was buying the zero compromise, the Zeiss, I was looking at every single really high end gun, and I mean scope, excuse me. And the Tangent Theta was the closest at 35mm. Most everything else is 34. Like the Zeiss is a 34mm. So that screw is going to be too long for the handle I'm using, so I have to find another one with this thread. I definitely do have one somewhere. I just have to find it, because I did this with the 25 also. So just excuse me for 1 minute. All right, and so. Where was I? So I returned the 25, and I spoke to them. Yeah, I'm going to take a small hit because, you know, it's my own fault. I should have found that stuff out before, but they did have on the website a power plenum that they sold that was just the power plenum by itself. It was like $400 and something. I assumed, which, you know, ass out of you and me, assumed, I made an ass out of myself there. Thought that I could put that on the 25, and that's not the case. It's because it's got the new externally adjustable regulator. They don't have a power plenum that you can use with the externally adjustable regulator yet, but they have it for this gun with the 9mm, because it's a 9mm and they need the extra power and the extra air. That's why the 470 bottle, but that's not something that they sell on its own. So that being the case, I had barely even shot the other gun. I don't even think I made a video with it. If I did, it was brief. See, now that's the look I'm going for. And this is just gonna slide right on the back. So it hooks in right here. Alright, and then it folds up in half like that, and then this trigger releases it, and it's like that. Boom. So yeah, it comes with a silencer for a reason. It's pretty damn loud, and you can imagine with the muzzle brake. This is with the 35 barrel. I think I'm going to shoot it as a 35 just for the hell of it before I change it, because I'd like to see what kind of energy levels I get and compare. I guess that's the only way that can go on. It's kind of cockeyed. That should be straight. Oh, I think I'll fix that when I fix the barrel, when I change the barrel. But the muzzle brake's pretty badass. That's a big, beefy muzzle brake. So yeah, most of the air I'm getting out the back because I don't have a magazine in it. I should put one in. All right, so the 35, I'm gonna try once with the 35 caliber, just because I probably should have worn the Edgun shirt they sent me. Or they sent me 2 Edgun shirts. So here's the other barrel, the 25 cal, and the magazines, and then these are 35 magazines. Here's all my jets. And this is a bunch of stickers and cards, and then my fill port and my extra pucks and the O-rings that are used to mount these magazine mounts to the stock, which are pretty cool. So there's those, and these are the 2 35s. Now these are made out of titanium. So I'm not sure why titanium on those, and these are aluminum, I'm assuming. Oh. So, but it actually, no, there's a magnet. So I think it is aluminum. I think this is anodized aluminum, and then the back is got a magnet with a steel part in it that's for the for rotating it. So for the linkage in there that actually turns it. That's another tool for changing parts. See, they even send you tools with the gun, so you can do these modifications on your own. And then 2 Picatinny sections if I wanted to put them on the sides, which I'm not sure if I'll need to do that. But you can always use them on another gun. All right, so that's that. Now, I'm gonna load a 35 caliber. I'm gonna use the silencer because this is going to be extremely loud. And then I'll adjust the regulator a little bit. See, they put it so that the line is straight up on the silencer, but the muzzle brake is not straight. I'm probably not going to use the muzzle brake, honestly, anyway. All right, so yeah, this whole entire thing is the plenum, all the way from, the whole top of the stock is a plenum. That's why the regulator starts all the way back here, and that just before it starts to get a little smaller. So here's the regulator, here's the regulated pressure. So this whole entire thing is a plenum. So your air going from there. And also, this is the same on the other gun. Your fill port, nobody likes having a fill port. I don't like it either, but also with this fill port, you can close it when you're not using it. This thing opens, you can open it from either side. So if I release this, you can open this from this side like this, and there's your fill port. And then when you close it, that dust cover goes right over it. And then I can turn it 2 more times and go on this side, and it's open on that side. Oh, one more. Did I pass it? Yeah, there we go. Then it's open on this side. So you can fill it on either side, and at least it's covered when you're not using it. But these guns actually, usually, probably not for me because of the modifications I'm doing to it, but they usually have a good shot count. If you're not making too many dramatic modifications like I am. But I bought it to make it a super Ed gun. Like, that's my phrase, whatever. That's not my phrase, I just thought of it. But I wanted to turn it into a small compact gun, which is why I stayed with the 450 millimeter barrel. I didn't want to go any bigger than that. I really wanted to do with a 350, but I knew that the power levels I'm looking for is unrealistic. But 450 to 600 is basically, 600 I'm jumping to a full-on rifle at that point. And I didn't want to go that big, so I didn't. But I wanted it to be something that could be shot, could be compact, which when you fold this up, that's pretty compact. And then you pop this off as a quick disconnect. That's basically what you're carrying. And then you put a QD sling on it, It comes with a QD sling mount. This came in the package. I have a smaller triangular one that I'm going to use, but it does come with a longer standard QD mount for slings. And then I already have a one-piece sling I'm going to use for it. Yep, right here. So pop this off, and this is going to clip. I'm not going to actually use that QD that came with it. I'm going to take that off and use a smaller one. I have a smaller one here somewhere. Here we go. So this is the one I'm going to use. That's going to go to this. I mean, everybody is starting to get into the compact guns, like the Panthera, the Impact. They're all coming compact versions, and then really the Edgun is the compact gun that started the compact gun. Really, I mean, this was the #1 compact submachine gun sized gun that there was. So this is the whole gun, and then you can carry it quite easily. Obviously, I can tighten this up and bring it up a little higher, but it's not even all that low. I mean, the bipod won't be on it when I'm carrying it like this. I'm just putting it on there for testing, but you're going to be carrying it like this, and then I can tighten this up, and that's that. And then you kind of go like this, and then it's all the way back to you, so you're not worried about, you know, do you have enough slack when you make it tight? No, because it's all the way at the back of the stock, even though it's in the middle of the gun when you're carrying it. So it's pretty cool. And then you put your quick disconnect silencer on, and you get used to where it slides in, and then it slides with the line straight up is on, and that's that. It's nice and sturdy. All right, let's load up a 9mm magazine. I have some 35 caliber pellets here, and then I'll try one with 35 caliber slugs. We'll see what kind of energy levels we're getting with this. All right. Oh, it doesn't fit in that way. It fits in that way. Oh, that's why. That's why there's no caps for it. It only goes in one way. No. Sorry about that. Phone was ringing. I'll call back. So I wonder if, oh, there is a skinny plate on here. There was one. Those are way skinnier than the normal ones. These titanium ones. No wonder why I couldn't get it off, or I didn't even see it. There we go. Now it slides right in. That's much easier. Okay. The slugs will be able to slide in either way, but I'm eager to see these 25 caliber magazines and how easy they are. With you know, those are supposed to be they're supposed to be made for slugs, or optimized for slugs, whatever. But they're supposed to be better for slugs. So I guess we'll see. And the magazines go in a little funny. I mean, when you're used to our like American guns or Swedish guns or whatever else. So that little linkage right there is what, right here. So this little linkage with the spring, that's what rotates. So that's an important part, but you have to kind of like depress it as you put the magazine in or take the magazine out. So your hole for the magazine, this piece of the magazine, is right above the barrel. And when you put it in there, you have to make sure that part opens up, and same thing when you take it out. And then close this. All right. Okay, maybe not. Am I not lined up? That plate needs to line up. There we go. All right. Now we'll leave the silencer on. We'll put the bipod on. I'm going to take it for a couple of shots. I have the chronograph set up, and I have to actually move my impact because I brought that over there to make sure the chronograph was working. And, oh, well, I have to mount the scope. So I have a Bushnell Elite Tactical DMR3. It's a great scope. It's got ED glass, very clear. It's a 3.5 to 21. So it's got a great zoom range. It goes very wide angle. Keep the manual handy because I'm going to be changing the barrel. It goes very wide angle with the 3.5, and then the 22. I'm sorry, 21 times is more than you usually ever need. I mean, even my zero compromise is 4 to 20. So this one goes 3.5. It's only 1/2 times zoom lower. So, I mean, and the angle's wider on that because of the tube and everything, but then it goes up to 21, which is even a little higher. But the clarity is unmatched on the zero compromise. I would think you guys would know that, but this is definitely a good scope. It comes pretty close. I'm not sure where my torque screwdriver is. I'm gonna need to find that. And I'm using an Arc and Optic scope mount because I like their offset scope mount. I like all their scope mounts, honestly. And their scope is, you know, it's good for the price, but once you start getting into higher tier scopes, the glass is just not there. It's just not. I mean, the tracking is great on them. There's a lot of things that I can't take from them and wouldn't want to because they do it well. But the glass is just not one of them. The glass is just not very good, honestly. I mean, it's okay at closer ranges, but once you start getting it out, you know, if you're doing 100 yards or more, or even like really even at 50, it's not great, but it's okay. But for that price range, I have a Vortec Venom that's a $500 scope. It's actually less than that, and it actually works great at those ranges. The glass is not as clear as the top tier scopes, but it really competes for the price range that it's in, for sure. I mean, that's the best scope I've ever seen in that price range. You know, $500 to $600 price range. All right, I would really like to find my torque screwdriver and torque that properly. I'm not really sure where my torque screwdriver is, so that's not going to happen right this minute. But we have a full magazine in here, so let's go give it. Oh, actually, let me get the impact out of the way off the table, and then we'll try this. So now that extra gauge, I'm actually glad that it came with the two, because I've been considering getting a digital gauge for this spot right here on the impact for the regulated pressure right here. I don't know. I hope it's going to fit. Let me see. Oh, and that's pretty cool. It turns on when you move it. Is that the same diameter? No, it's a little wider. This magnetic stop that I have that sticks to the you know, so you don't double load, which this gun is infamous for, it can be turned up a little bit. So I think I can still fit it. I'll give it a shot. If not, I've got plenty of other guns that can go on. All right. Let's give this thing a shot. It has a 9mm, and then we'll start to change it. So this will be kind of a long video. I may do it in parts because I got up early today, so I don't have to leave quite yet. I have some stuff I have to do today, but I don't need to be in a rush right now. And then I'm gonna grab my Ultra Pod from Stud Mag Loaders. That has been my new, I haven't used a bag since I got it. Really, it's like a universal monopod is exactly what it is. You use it on any gun, and it rises in the back, and it's got a bearing. I did a video on it. If you guys didn't see it, I'm explaining it to you now, but I'll show it to you. So this was a prototype that Doug sent me, and it's not complete. So I told him I had done this with the rubber. I did these three little. This was rubber that came with my my thermal optic, the clip-on. So if you had a different size scope, you know, the optical lens if it was a different diameter, this would fill, you know, however many millimeters smaller, and it came with a bunch of different ones. So I ended up using it to make a couple of walls on the side and one in the back, and then he ended up redoing this and making the top piece with two heavy rubber walls to hold the buttstock in place, which I think is pretty awesome. So I'm sure you guys will like that if you haven't tried one already. But he's got them for sale. I think they're starting to sell them on Pyramid shortly, and he's got them on his site, which I just buy my stuff right from him. So I'm gonna go for the smaller target. So I'm actually gonna lower these front legs to that position. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go down a little bit. Let's zoom in. See, the side shot, I'm gonna get the 34 millimeter bracket for it, because most of my guns are 34 millimeter, but more than that, it still won't fit on the Zero Compromise, even with the 36 millimeter. It hits the scope rings, it hits something everywhere you go. So I've tried it a million ways, and it's just been infuriating because I can't get the thing to be anywhere. Like if I had it on, you guys wouldn't even see it. I wouldn't see it. It's like up facing this way is the only way I can get it on, and then the scope is all cockeyed in the picture. So it really just doesn't work on that scope. So why do they sell 36 millimeter, you know, brackets if it doesn't work on the only 36 millimeter scope? I have no idea. All right, let's try this. Okay, that's kind of slow. So let's try it again. Are those all the way in? Let me see. No, it's not cycling, so. These pellets are too freaking, these are cheap Amazon pellets. I should have got like Diablo Exact or something for a gun like this. But these are not like in all the way. They're just a little rough. These are those Hatsan, Vortex, whatever it is. Cheap, you know, Amazon pellets. But I don't really use many pellets, and I actually got these not even for this. I just figured I would test it since I had them. I actually got these for my Terminator because that gun shoots slugs. It shoots slugs fairly well, just not all that fast when you're after shooting a Rattler 35. You know, and it's shooting 150, 200 grain slugs at almost 1,000 feet a second, and then that's shooting 700, 800 when you get into heavier slugs. And lighter slugs, it's really only going like 850 maybe, which is still fast when you consider the weight and the energy it's putting out, but it's just not. It's not as fast as I would like it to be. So it's up for sale. The Terminator. It does have a lot of air capacity, which is nice. It's got the tube in the front and the bottle in the back as the stock. It's still not cycling. Well, that's not much of a test. Let me try some slugs. Let's do that. I think these pellets are shot for this. These are Terminator pellets. Much less tolerance issues on a gun like that. This gun is machined perfect. That gun, not so much. But that's the difference between, you know, an $800 to $1,000 gun or $1,200 gun, whatever that was, and a $5,000 gun. You get what you pay for. All right, let's do some lighter 35s that I don't really have many light 35s. I have a few 85 grain. And then this latest I have is 117. Let's see, I got a magazine worth of these. No, those will cycle. I pressed those. Okay. And oddly enough, the press that I bought, I got from the same place. from Wolfeet Group, Spain. Sorry about that, guys. Stupid 30-minute thing. I don't know if I mentioned you can't fix it, and I actually bought this thing because this is the only alternative. It just puts it back on after 30 minutes, and it hasn't been doing its job. I don't know, I got to read the directions better on that to make sure it starts again at 30 minutes. But anyways, I have the slugs in here. I only fired one. I'm going to get the regulator adjusting tool because I'm going to definitely want to turn it up. But other than that, I think everything else is good. Where's the, there we go. Because this I got with the last gun, and I knew I was getting the same regulator with this gun, so this is the only thing I didn't send back. And I waited to hear from them on that. I waited to hear from them on whether or not to remove the regulator and change it from that gun, because I had gotten the, they actually gave me the Raptor because, you know, we've done some business already, so they hooked me up on that. It didn't cycle. Maybe I need to lubricate this a little bit. It does look a little dry. It doesn't look like it has much oil on it. Maybe just a little silicone grease or oil. I think a tad, just like a light touch of grease. I mean, the O-ring lube is kind of like a middle ground between those. Maybe I'll use that. It's really just like a thick O-ring oil. So it's like if you mix the grease and the oil, that's about what you'd get. Yeah, I think I'll do a touch of this, and then use a brush. I have some brand new brushes up here. Sorry guys, I try not to do this where I'm doing the video and I'm not in it, but sometimes I gotta grab stuff. So, alright, I got the regulator adjuster, yes, okay. Just put a little bit of lube in here. This is the Super Lube O-ring lubricant, which is basically, it's 100% silicone. It's just a much thicker consistency than standard O-ring oil, you know, like standard silicone oil rather. And it's much more thick, so it sticks better and it lasts longer. And also, oh, you know what? The slugs are too big. That's what it is. The slugs are too deep. These are even still too big. I may just have to throw the 35 caliber die on and press some slugs if I want to test this. Some small ones. All right, well, what I'll do is I'll bring you guys with me. I'll show you how to change dies on the press slug, since I have to do it anyway. And I'll put it from 25, which I'm going to need to put back on, so I won't put it very far. And I'll show you from 25 to 35. Swapping out the caliber. Oh, and then you'll see also on the on this air compressor that I got. Thank you again, Pyramid Air. So I put the hoses. I made a video on maintenance on how to do that, and then the two-stage intake filter. But I put this exhaust filter. So this is like the air filter on the way out. This is a big tube that's all like the balls that absorb water, and you change them. So the extra ones are in my little bin wherever I have it, with the extra parts for the compressor, the internal parts and all that stuff. But that's a good way to set this thing up, to have something filtering the air properly, so water and oil separator on the intake and going into your gun, because you don't want water and oil in your gun, and that's a water cooled unit, so it's definitely possible. So this thing is awesome. It keeps the tools right on the side of it, so they're always available. There's a magnetic spot, just stick it right there, boom, and that's it, stays right there. And then I actually need it again because the top piece uses the back end of this same tool, which makes it nice and convenient. Take that out, and that has the pin in it as well. It's sticking in because it's lubricated, and that's acting as a way to hold them together. And then I'm going to put the 357 in. And I'm gonna make one. I'm gonna make a slug about this height that it was at for the 25s right now. So I'm gonna leave it where it is. And then I have two back parts for it that I didn't remove the 25 caliber one yet, but I have one that I machined into a flat back, and then I have one that is the original concave back. So I started making my own die parts for this. I even made the pin in the middle that is a 22 caliber, and I reversed it and I made it a pointed slug rather than a hollow pointed slug. I'm going to use the concave back for the small ones that I'm going to make for this, because that'll take a little more weight out, because that gun's not meant to shoot 200 grain slugs like the Rattler. As a matter of fact, because they're going to be so much lighter, I can just use those slugs and make them smaller. But I do have some 35 caliber wire that I'll cut for some more. So that's that. That's how you change it. You just unscrew the top part, unscrew the bottom part, and then I have a bunch of stuff written down on a pad on what, where to set the dial for what grain weight for the weights that I make frequently. Right now, this is a weight that I don't make frequently at all, that I don't think I've ever made. So I'm not going to have any information on how to make this. Did that make it any smaller? It needs to go lower. It didn't even hit it. Okay. See, this is small for a, and the Allen wrenches go right on the opposite side there. This is small for a 35 caliber for sure. I'm going to go down to right there. Try that. And then when you're done with your Allen key, it's got a nice little spot for it right there, magnetic as well. No, it's still not low enough. Almost there. But maybe a couple more right there, 0.7. Alright, that should do it. Yeah, that took it down a little bit. Let's see the magazine. Yeah, that's perfect. That'll fit perfect. Actually, it needs to be a hair smaller, like a hair. Just because I don't want it to jam up in there, I want it to cycle properly. Okay, now that should definitely do it. Yep, it's not protruding from either side. That's right, that's good. That's good right there. All right, so I'll just bang these out real quick. Like that. Okay. And 8 for one magazine, and then I will weigh these so I know what kind of grain weight I'm shooting. Alright, that's a 91.56 grain. So 91 grain, that's about standard for a that's 90.4. So let me see why that is. Maybe that one started a little smaller. 86. Yeah, these definitely started different sizes. Yeah, because I have a range of grain weight. Anything under 100, it's like 84 to 90, whatever. Because I very rarely use these. I only use them in the Terminator. The Rattler, this thing will almost break the sound barrier with slugs this light. Oh, I did shoot one, that's why. Alright, let me grab some 35 caliber wire. I'll snip a few pieces and make some more new ones. Where the hell are my snips? There we go. So these are not really for cutting lead wire, because I have that whole thing set up for cutting lead wire, but it doesn't cut this thick. this is very thick lead wire. I'm not sure what the diameter is starting, but it's pretty close to 357 because the spool broke. I actually got that from where is it called? Corbin, and you know, he makes good equipment, but the lead prices are not all that great, especially now that NSA came out with their, you know, spools of lead. So if you guys make your own slugs, they're the best on the market for prices on spools of lead. So 25 pounds you get shipped to your door of any caliber you want, of the sizes that they have dies for, and they have dies for a good amount of sizes, like, and anything around. I think if I'm not mistaken, it might go up to 45, but it may just be 35. So don't quote me, but I know that it's 82 bucks shipped to your door. Oh, how do you like that? I just put them all in backwards. It's 82 change shipped to your door. And I've bought a lot of spools from them, because even though I cast and press my own slugs from lead, that I, you know, expelled lead, it's a lot easier to do it from a spool and just cut a whole bunch. And that's how I have so many of them, because it's a pain in the ass to melt them down and all that stuff. I mean, I still do it when I have time, but I have several ingots that I make in the smelting pot. I burn all the stuff that I hit with them off of it, and obviously I'm cutting these way too long because there's not supposed to be so much excess. But that's why you have a cutter like that. So yeah, Nielsen specialty ammo is definitely the best around for, I mean, when I was buying slugs, I was buying a lot there too, and they had the best prices on slugs, and they make good quality slugs. It's not like you're getting discount slugs that are sloppily made and all that. It's not like that at all. They're actually very well made, and they're still cheaper. So, I mean, obviously he's got a good business plan. He understands that being the cheapest on the market and being the cheapest on the market and still making a quality product is going to get you more volume and loyal customers than doing it any other way ever would. So, you know, that's something that some businesses never get, and never take care of their customers and just don't give a shit, or whatever. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what they're thinking, but I don't want to assume anything else. But like Air Guns of Arizona, for instance, you ban one of the shooters that's been going to every competition. Let me not even get started on that topic, because I'm really pissed off about that. That'll ruin the whole rest of the video, because I'll just be in a shitty mood. Alright, so since this is not a slug pressing video, I'm going to get these last few done and get the hell out of here and show you how this thing shoots. And then I'm going to change it to a 25, and I'm going to probably change the jets to a little bit smaller. I think I'm going to try it with 35 and smaller jets also, because I'm not getting nearly the power I was expecting. I think it was like 400 feet a second or something. But I know it's because they're not fitting properly. So the magazine's not cycling right, nothing's working right. They were too, the slugs were not too long, wide. These are the right diameter. They were too long. So, okay, there we go. There's a couple magazines worth, so at least I can show you guys what's up with the gun. All right. That's that. Now, let me put you guys back over here where you can see. All right. And then I have the chronograph set up right there. Turn it a little bit more so you can see that. I usually would have it hooked up to something that was reading the speeds, but I just didn't hook it up to anything. I'll tell you what the speeds are. Uh, 421. Okay, that's faster than it was. It's still not cycling. What kept it from cycling now? It's actually going smoothly. Why isn't it cycling? It looks like it hit the end of the next slug, but I don't know why, because the slug's not too big. It just must have slid forward or something. Let's just put it in right in the spot that it needs to be for that next slug, or I'll manually rotate it. There we go. That's it right there. Let's see how that does. Nope, still didn't rotate. I can hear the air going to the plenum, and it's like serious. That plenum is massive. Okay. Yeah, it's staying right around 420, so it's definitely consistent. Oh, well, fuck. What a dumbass. It doesn't even have a puck in it. I didn't even look at that. That's why it's not going that fast, because it's not making a seal. What a dumbass. These are the pucks that you drill yourself right there, which I probably will drill one of those myself, but it had one in the grip that was the right size. Yeah, this is the big one. Let me put some O-ring lube on it, and that'll change everything. Where did I put? Oh, I put it out there, didn't I? Yep. Okay, just put some lube around this O-ring. I'm wondering why it's not working right. And hello. Last time it came with this already in there. I didn't think it wouldn't be in there, but I guess that one was in the handle. That's the bigger size, and then they gave me a couple of blank ones that have no hole in them, and you just drill your own size hole. It's still not rotating. Oh yeah, that made a big difference. Oh, that was almost 800 feet a second. Nice. Now see, this is with a 91 or 90. It was somewhere between 88 and 91 grain. An actual slug that I pressed, and I don't know if it cycled. Let's see. Okay, it did cycle. It's cycling the opposite direction that I have it set to. Okay, so it cycles. What's that? That's clockwise. It's cycling good now. It's going way higher than I have it. I might actually use the 35 on this. That's more powerful than I thought, and I haven't changed any jets. I haven't done any tuning yet. It's only at 186. No, you need to go back up. 194, 196, 7, and see this gauge and the regulator. You can adjust to such accurate numbers. It's really they're so like fine tunable. This is just an incredibly well machined gun. Honestly, the 25 I had, I didn't want to give up. I was hoping I could get the plenum for it, and I was under the impression that I could, but I honestly didn't want to send it back. I was in love with that gun. But this is the same thing, only I have that now. I have the plenum, I have a bigger bottle, so it was the right way to do it. I probably should have ordered it like this in the first place, but I didn't want to do it for multiple reasons, because I didn't want to send it back to them after having bought it, and I didn't want to be one of those customers, because I'm not one of those customers, like genuinely, but because I'm going to need to put a zeroing target. Well, yeah, I'd like to see where the hell I'm hitting, just so I can zero it on this and then re-zero it on the 25s. Well, I'm honestly going to change it in just a minute, so it's not going to make much difference. Okay, Have left and high. Where was that? Oh, maybe that wasn't the hole I made. I might have been further off than that the first time. Let's see if I can hit the gong. No, it's off to the side. I'm not sure if I'm too low. Yeah, I think that was way too high. Let's see. Where is that hitting? Oh, now I'm too high. I got it. I was right next to the gong. I was over to the right. It should be somewhat centered now. At least where I can see where the hole is. Nope, I gotta watch it again. Can't even see. Oh, I'm way too low. See, that's hitting the thing that curves around to catch the slugs. I think I shot 8 already. Yep. All right, well, I'm not going to zero it because I'm not going to be using the 35 right now. I may use it again in the future, but I'm going to be using this as a 25. So I needed to get some air out of it, and I wanted to show you guys what it could do as a 35, which now that I realized I didn't have a puck in it at all, which was pretty stupid, it's got some good power for 90 grain slugs to be going 750 feet a second plus. Plus I haven't put air in it, so it's probably low on air by now. But the 35 shoots 35s pretty good. If they were pellets, I'm sure they would have been going faster, which I'm sure would probably cycle right now that I put the puck actually in the gun. So I'll show you what I mean by the puck, because Edgun is nothing like FX guns or any other American guns or AEA or any of. Well, AEA does. Do they do hammerless? No, they have hammer springs. The Rattler is hammerless, so it's similar to that in a sense, a small sense. It's not like it in any other way. Their whole system is different, but it's the same concept. Like there's no hammer, so there's pressure opening the valve as well as closing it. And the Rattler, you can't find any information about anywhere, which is, you know, how they operate. I don't know why, but the Rattler, you can't find any information online. You can't find a diagram. I mean, I had to find out everything myself. I had to take the whole thing apart. I had to figure out all the ins and outs of that gun on my own, because they're not going to help you. I mean, they want you to send the gun in and that's it. They don't want to tell you how it works. They don't want to tell you why you do A, B, or C. They don't want you to know how to work that gun. Plain and simple. And these are what I mean by the pucks right here. Oh, that's my little collet. So they have these little pucks. This is your transfer port, essentially. I mean, it is your transfer port. So and then this has a tiny little hole in it. Both of them have a tiny little hole, but you can drill that out as much as you want. So I'll probably drill that out to, you know, a little bit bigger than what's in there now. I don't know that it's going to make any difference. I don't think there's any more room to actually transfer air, but let's see. No, there actually is. Oh yeah, you can go the whole width of, I mean, you can go as wide as you want, but that one is actually pretty far. Yeah, that one is drilled out pretty far. So, I mean, the way that one that they sent in the handle is perfect. So, honestly, I'll probably drill one out just so I have a backup, and then I'll leave one without being drilled, so I can do that at a later date if I need a new puck. The jets, I'm going to start taking this apart, so I'll make this into another video. I'll just do the 35 caliber testing and box opening, and then I'm going to degas and work on this in the next video. I'll start that over. All right, so I will see you guys on the next video. Hey guys, Chris here. So this is the part of the video where I'm going to be changing the caliber and testing this as a 25 caliber with all the modifications that I've done. So I haven't done the jets yet. I have to look that part up because this is new to me. I haven't done too much on an Edgun. I did just change the barrel. This is the 25 caliber barrel. If you have an Edgun and you want to change the caliber, please, when you take the barrel out, be careful of this part right here that cycles the magazine, because this can pop off, it can get damaged. You know, the barrel comes right through there, and you have to just hold it down so that the barrel can go right over it, if you can see that. See, this is the part that indexes the magazine. You have to just hold that down so it can slide right over. Just be careful of that when you do it. And I'm just tightening these 4 cinching screws that cinch the barrel right here, so it's nice and tight. And the thing with these barrels, compared to like an FX, it doesn't have an inner liner. This is all one piece. This is all solid metal, you see? And they have Lothar Walther barrels, or this one is not. The only reason I didn't get the Lothar Walther, because I actually ordered it, and Matthias over at Wolfie Group told me this is Alpha Precision, which is also made by Lothar Walther. They make these barrels in a different company that's part of them as well. But anyways, the reason I didn't get an original Lothar Walther is because they're choked at the end, which is why I had the RTI Priest 2, and I ended up having to send it back because my slug was getting stuck in the barrel at the end. Not every time, but like occasionally a slug would get stuck and I'd have to force it out with a cleaner. And you know, he contacted me when he saw the order and told me that that's a choked barrel. That Lothar Walther is a choked barrel, because I've already had a bad experience with that, and that's why I don't still have that gun. But at the time, I wasn't shooting bench rest. I wasn't shooting in competition, so that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't keep it. But now, in hindsight, that's probably a gun I would like to buy again in the future, because it shot pellets wonderful. Like, it was incredible with pellets, but I didn't shoot pellets at the time. I only shot slugs. But now with the bench rest competition, I have no choice but to shoot pellets, so I have to be good with pellets as well in certain guns. But that would be a good bench rest gun. It's got a good sized barrel. The only other thing, which I would have gotten used to, it cocks on the left hand side, which is odd for me. I don't have any other gun, nor have I used any other gun that cocked on the left. I mean, it would be great for a left-handed person, but I'm right-handed predominantly. I mean, I'm not very ambidextrous. I can use my left hand for a lot of stuff because I just have to, but I can't use it like my right. So I wouldn't consider that ambidextrous. So now I'm just tightening the shroud back on. And well, this is somewhat of an open shroud. It's not exactly a shroud. It's more like a, I guess it still would be considered a shroud. But the remainder of the barrel is covered by that, and has got a Picatinny on the top and bottom, and it has sections that you can use on the sides as well if you'd like. I haven't decided whether or not to use those. So now the jets, I have to see how I have to look up how I'm supposed to change these, because I know I have to degas this. And I think there's a way to, I think that right there releases the gas, or I could just loosen this regulator. I mean this manometer. Okay. And these are the new Edgun digital manometers, which I'm surprised and pleasantly surprised that they actually gave me two of. Usually this gun comes with one on the back, and it doesn't come with one for the regulated pressure, and then you have to put one on yourself. And I ordered a second one because of that, so I would have a digital one on the back and the side. and it came with 2 on the gun and the other one I bought. So now I have an extra one I'm going to put on my impact. There's always a use for something like that when you have a lot of air tanks. You'll always use it. So I'm just going to let the gas out of this, and then I know it's somewhere on the back of this here is part of the valving. So once all the gas comes out, I can take this off the plenum, and there should be an O-ring on it, and that's about all that's holding it in, that and pressure. As far as I know, from what research I've done anticipating doing this. And it's this silencer is just so nice the way that it installs. Oh, well, I forgot to do that. That's great. There's the QD piece that goes on the end of the barrel, quick disconnect piece. This has to thread on, so it would be nice if I actually did that. But this is what connects to the silencer, and the end of the silencer slides right under the shroud over this, and then it locks onto the gun, which I'll take this shroud back on and tighten this up a little bit later. I want to see where it's going to land, because I want to make sure that it lands where it's straight. And I'd like to have it land where the muzzle brake will be straight too, because with a 25 I might be able to use the muzzle brake. It might not be all that loud. Let's see. I could use a muzzle brake to tighten it, or, well, maybe not. It's probably not a good idea since it's stuck right on. Yeah, I'll probably just take this off and tighten it now, because I'm going to keep doing that. Alright. Well, no, that's good. They have a lip on it. So I'm going to get a 4mm ball head. These are just ball head quarter inch fittings that have ball heads on the end, and they're long, so I can reach the inconvenient locations that they have to go to. I'm sorry, it's a 3mm. 4mm was for the handle, the grip. Alright, now this needs to get threaded on there tightly, and I'm going to try to check how this and the other one land on it when I tighten it, and then see if I need to use some Loctite and get it to tighten in a different location. Yeah, so that will be sideways. So, but if I was to put it somewhere where it would be straight up, it would be, let's see if I can hold that steady. It'll be right about there. So right there. So with the fatter part on the top, and then if the fatter part's on the top with this one, I'm going to mount it that way. And then the line will be sideways when I'm done. So I think I'm going to put the line. See, this one says like this. Yeah, and then the line's up there when it goes on that way, and then it'll lock in straight. So I'm going to use a little Loctite, and I'm going to tighten it with that facing up so that my stuff will go on straight. I do have red Loctite 277, which since I'm not tightening it all the way, I don't think would be overkill on this, but it's not. It's probably in my shop in the back, so I'm just going to use this blue Loctite. Alright, I'm going to put a good amount on because, like I said, I'm not tightening it all the way because I'm just leaving it where it's at that point that I want to try to get to so that everything is straight when it goes on. and then I'll let this stuff harden, and then I'll put something on the end. I won't put it on right away because it'll twist this. Alright, that's a good amount of thread locker. That should get it nice and tight. And we'll tighten it all the way down as far as I can go with that part facing up. So let's go see where all, as far as it goes is right there. And I just want to be that much further out. Alright, so that should lock it in place when that's done. Alright, and the air's almost drained out. And I'm going to put this back on. And then I'll put all these in with this, and then afterwards I'll snug them up with the torque wrench. I did find my torque wrench. It was right next to me the whole time. My torque screwdriver, rather. Okay. I'll set this to 20 inch-pounds. That was too loose right there. 20. Okay, that's that. This is just about empty. 5 bar. And there's the rest of it. Oh, and that seal broke already. It's probably because it's pretty high pressure when I let that out, but I have a replacement for that. Let's see, what am I gonna, let me get some of my dental tools. This building has a dentist office in it, and I was very, very lucky when so the new dentist that moved in after the former dentist sold his practice, so I got a new tenant, and the new dentist wanted to remove all, he had a space down here that he keeps all his extra stuff, the former dentist, which he actually still works there for the new dentist, but he wanted to get rid of all this stuff that he had down here from the previous dentist, and when doing that, I found a whole box of dental tools. And even, I had like a few really good ones for O-rings that they had given me. Like when I had seen them, I was like, dude, that would be so awesome for O-rings because it's blunt. There's no sharp edge on that. You know, that's perfect for O-rings. It's a lifesaver for O-rings. And I told him that, and he had given me a couple anyways, but I found a whole box. Like I have a whole ton of dental tools, and they are lifesavers with, I think you can order them. I mean, I don't think you have to be a dentist to order a dental tool. But I think you'd probably get them on Amazon if I wouldn't. I would guess you could. So now this, yeah, that's loose. Oh, it threads out. It does thread out. Okay. So now this is the first time I'm doing this, guys. So I'm trying to, it's the blind leading the blind here. I'm trying to teach you guys something that I've never done before. I mean, I'm not totally blind. I know air guns and I know high pressure and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know this gun. Okay, but this looks very simple actually. There's the 2 jets right there, just like that. You take that off, you unthread that once it's degassed, and you got your two jets right there, and then you just swap them out for these 2. So let's see, which size are they in there? Oh, those are 0.3 that are in there actually. So I'm gonna go, I should have figured that because it's the 357. I'm gonna go 0.1, I think. Because I was gonna go 0.2, but since they're already 0.3, well, maybe I'll go 0.2. We'll try the 0.2s. I gotta put a bigger label on the bag so I know which ones are which. Alright, so I think I'm gonna try with just a small, I wonder if I have a small socket that would fit that. I think I might. Probably this one right here. Yep, I do. That's good. Alright, and then the screwdriver handle. My little precision kit, screwdriver kit that I have had the perfect size for it. So that was perfect, and they're obviously very magnetic. And there's a little spring in there, you don't want to lose that. What is it, stuck in there? Are you kidding me? Well, let's put it 1 or 2 threads in and pull it off that way. There we go. Alright, now let's get the other one loosened up. Alright. I mean, it's not, oh, there's a spring. That's your little valve and spring that goes in there. It comes, it was stuck in this one, so it came right out with it. And just make sure you don't lose those and that you put them back. Alright, so these are the 0.2. So that's 0.2, like 0.2 of a millimeter. Or 0.1 is 1/10 of a millimeter, so the valve would close even slower. So I'm going to try the 0.2s just because it'll probably be more efficient. Okay. And then those are 0.3s now. So that's that's 2 sets. I don't know why I ordered 0.3s. I had already 0.3s. I didn't realize, I thought they were 0.4s. That's what they were on the last one. Alright, so let's give that a shot. It's no big deal, they're cheap. They were like 15 bucks a set, I think. Okay, I'll just use that to snug them up. And then we're going to try this beast. I've got the Raptor regulator. Now I've put the smaller jets, the larger puck, which I haven't made my puck yet, which I'm gonna drill this one out. I'm gonna drill that out. I'm gonna put that on my, I'm actually gonna put it right in my CNC machine and do it like perfect like that. Okay. All right, those are nice and tight. So now we're gonna put this back in. Get a new gasket. You know what? I'm gonna put some O-ring lube on this. Then I'm gonna get a gasket for my regulator and put that back in. I think I actually have one of the rubber ones, which I like better. Yeah, this definitely needs some lube. That's kind of dry. It's like fresh rubber dry. But we're gonna lube it up. All right, there it is. I'm already putting some lube on it. It was out on the table from earlier. All right. Now let's gently slide that in. Come on. So what it is this thing doesn't have to be completely tight, you know, because the pressure and the O-ring are making a seal. So you see how it's snugging up in the wrong spot. So I'm going to go back that far, and that'll still make a seal. Okay, so this part is good. I can air this up. So just so you guys can see that it won't leak, I'll air it up on the camera. Let me grab a tank. All right, and then I have my quick fill over here. For the filter, I always use a filter. So this air is being filtered on the way in the compressor, on the way out of the compressor, and again on the way out of the tank into this. Oh, well, it would be good if I put the gauge back on and put a ring to seal it. Otherwise I'm just blowing air out into the air. Do I have one over here? No, I have to go in the other O-ring box. Sorry guys, I wish I could have a camera on me all the time, but I don't have a camera person holding the camera, so unfortunately, that's about the best I can do. I think there was actually one in the kit that came with that quick fill, or the repair kit for the quick fill, that was almost identical to that. But I was hoping to have one of the rubber ones like in the FX guns, but I don't seem to have any. Nope, those are different shape and size. Alright, well these are what the typical 1/8 uses, so it's a little tight, but it'll go in. I think the one that they had in there was a little skinnier. So I'll just use a ball end Allen and I'll tap it in there with my rubber mallet if I could find it. Where's my little rubber mallet? There we go. Okay. Perfect. Alright, we'll throw a little O-ring move on that. Even though it's kind of like Delrin plastic, it should help form a seal. Alright, and then this can go right in there. Alright, and then we'll turn this straight. Doesn't need to be much tighter than this. And straight is right there, so that's perfect. Alrighty, now we'll fill it up. Where's my fill probe? Okay, and then we'll put some O-ring lube on this. It's the first time I'm using it. Alright, and then as I was showing you guys in the last video, just turn this whichever way and get the opening. And then put this on. Open up the tank. Is that all the way in? That's not all the way in. There we go. Alrighty. Something on here is leaking. I don't know if that's coming from the filter. I think it's coming out of the filter. 69. See, it's actually a slow fill, so it's deliberately a slow fill. Like it doesn't fill too fast. It's only 100 bar now, and that bottle's full. That's at 310 or whatever. I think it's around 5,000 psi, or this measures in psi. Yeah, so it's 4,500 now. After having put all this into it, it's 160 already bar. 180 bar, 190. So this can actually be filled up to, I think it was like 350, which I don't even think my compressor can go that high. I'm not going to test it. I'm only going up to the 4,500 psi, or 5,000, whatever that it's rated for. Which is, I think it's 310 bar that it's rated for. So I don't know the exact conversion, but I'm getting up to 276, 277. I probably won't get a full 300 from zero because it's taking too much from the tank. It's a 6.8 liter tank. That's why I thought about getting a 9 liter tank. But I always have access to fill it quick, and I have those 2 oxygen tanks, and then I have another smaller 2 liter to-go tank. Okay, so we're at 277, 195 on the regulator. I'm going to turn the regulator down a little bit. But anyways, I can just finish putting this together and then we can try it out, and I'll turn it down then. Oh shit. Wow, I really just did that. I'm upside down. Son of a bitch. This is supposed to be like this. I'm thinking it's got to go down into it. It's got to go up into it. I have to literally empty this whole thing again. You son of a bitch. So it didn't leak, but it actually could have been that much tighter. Son of a fucking bitch. You are a son of a bitch. Well, I know this one ain't gonna break even under this much pressure. That's a big fat one. You suck. Alright, I'll let that empty out and then I'll come back and I'll fill this tank and bring another full one. Because I had just wasted a whole fill of air. See, it's not all that bad on sound. I think that has gotten a lot quieter since all the filters I added. I'm actually going to test it. Well, that thing is still emptying anyway. It's louder over here, but like we're in the same room when I walk over there and it's pretty damn quiet. Yeah, it got 10 decibels quieter. It was almost 100 decibels. It's 90. It's got 10 decibels quieter with those filters. I gotta definitely mention that in that video. Down to 96, 98. I can't quite tighten it yet. I don't want to fuck that O-ring up. But we're almost there. Once I get down to like 20, 30, somewhere around there, then I can tighten this without doing any damage to the ring. Or really, I'd like to be even lower than that. I'll just let it empty out. I'll just wait. In the 50s now. So for all you guys that were thinking I smoke weed, this is what you see me smoking. These are cigars. These are Davidoff cigars. That's what you see me smoking. You know what else? I'll fill up this speed loader. Actually, let me fill up the magazines first because I want to see how it does with the 48 grain, which I'm hoping to get it shooting 48 grain at the speeds that I want, which is like maybe 1,000. I'd like to have it at 1,000 feet per second without straining, without, you know, being at the maximum speed possible. That's kind of tight in there. That's way tighter than the other ones. Maybe, oh, these are the ones that are made optimized for slugs. Maybe that's why. I hope that doesn't slow it down. That's awful tight. I mean, it fits. It's definitely the right size, but it's very tight. No, we're gonna see. Like the last ones, the 25s, I had to actually put this metal plate to hold them in. But right now they ain't going nowhere. That plate is just decoration. But the short time that I had the other Edgun before I had to swap it out, I realized that you go through ammo so fast. I mean, we take for granted how many shots we have in like an FX Impact because you have a lot of shots. I mean, 21 shots and 30, 25 shots and 25, 28 and 22. It's a lot of shots. And then you get some 8-round magazines and it puts things back into perspective for you. Because that's about what, you know, average air guns have like 10 shots, 8-10 shots. But that's why they make these speed loaders. Yeah, I think because it's optimized for slugs, that's why I bought the magazines that were optimized for slugs. That's got to be why they're so much tighter. because this is the same place I bought the slug press, and they know exactly the diameter that I'm using.